worry. You don't have to worry, we got you covered. It's a long profile, so I will just skim through very fast because there's a lot to be discussed this evening. So Yetunde has over 5 years of experience in public health programming and project management. She's a nutrition specialist at Solina Center for International Development and Research, focusing on improving maternity, adolescent girls, infant, and young children's health. She has also volunteered sorry, I beg your pardon. She has also volunteered for several NGOs and won an Active Citizenship Award 2021 in the health category, a top 35 finalist of the Yala Awards, the Gambia, a 2021 Yale Fellow, West Africa, a 2022 Mandela Washington Fellow. Like the award, the list continues. She's an author. Like she has amazing book for moms, Boost Your Breast Milk, Food Guide, like the list continue. And she's also the convener of the, sorry, I'm so sorry. She's also the convener of the Girls Count Initiative, a voluntary non-for-profit initiative with a vision to improve the health, well-being, and provide sustainable empowerment opportunity for adolescent girls, women, orphan, and vulnerable children, particularly in rural and semi-urban communities, while working to drive policies that focus on gender equality, access to education, and ending hunger in vulnerable households. So Yetunde, she's doing quite a lot. A lot is that she's a lady with multiple caps. She has a lot on her plate. She holds a bachelor's degree in medical biochemistry and a master's degree in public health, and a civic leadership training certificate from Rotary University. We call them the noisemakers, sorry. So she has a lot going on for her, and a lot. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and make welcome my dear friend and sister, Yetunde. Sorry, I skip your bio. Please, you can just go to the chat box and just please celebrate her as she come up. Yetunde, over to you, ma.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dorcas. It's a pleasure to be here. Can you please just allow me share my screen?
Yes, you are the host now. You can go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today, and I really do appreciate Elisha Dorcas for inviting me to this webinar today. When she sent me a message that she hosts webinars every month, and this month's webinar will be on the visible you, and she would want me to just shed a little bit of light on the little stuff that we can do to be able to make ourselves visible in the corporate space and also probably in the social media space. And I'm so grateful for her for giving me this opportunity to come here today. And I hope we'll be able to learn from each other. I'll be able to, rub minds together to see how we can ensure that whatever we are doing in our own spaces, we're able to pull it out there for people to be able to see what we are doing and to be able to, kind of, if they have support, if they have anything they want to do to be able to help us push our ideas, push our career up out there, they can also do that for us. So thank you so much once again for inviting me to this, prestigious webinar of yours. It's really awesome to be here. So I'll just share my screen quickly. Yes, are we all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So before I start, I think I have just about 30 minutes or so, Dorcas. to just quickly speak on this topic that Doc has given unto me, gaining and maintaining visibility in the corporate and social media space. First, before I start this webinar today, I will want to quickly make a note that I understand that many of us want to be like keep our stuffs in the box. We want to be like not let people know what we are doing. We want to be like, say, oh, if I let the people, they might think I'm doing this, they might think I'm too much, they might think I'm that. But I have noticed that in the social, for instance, I'm in the humanitarian space. I mean, I work with NGOs, and in that space, we always kind of need a lot of support. And many people would not actually want to support you because of probably, in quote, integrity issue and other factors, other underlying factors. It's really important for us in the humanitarian space or in the NGO space to be visible. And I think that is one thing that made me to be able to a little bit come out of my shell, because on normal basis, I'm an introvert. I do not like to talk. I do not like to say things. I like to keep my stuff to myself. But when I found myself in this sector, it became imperative for me to make sure that I come out of my shell in a little way that I can, to be able to, get support for the little stuff that I do in my communities. I'm not sure if everybody is hearing me. Should I continue, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So moving on to the next
Madam,
slide.
we are hearing you very well.
All right, thank you so much for the responses. I really do appreciate that. So we'll just quickly speak on gaining and maintaining visibility in the corporate space, and also talk about gaining visibility in the social media space. I will not only be the person speaking at this webinar. I want it to be an interactive section whereby we're able to rub minds together. We're able to discuss challenges. We're able to, talk about whatever is affecting us that we're not able to pull ourselves out there for people to see. So first, I'm going to start with gaining visibility and maintaining visibility in the corporate space. For instance, I work with a non-for-profit organization. Aside from the fact that I run a very voluntary initiative in my community, it's imperative that whatever organization that we are working in, we are able to, show that we have influence in such a sector that we are working with. The very first thing I will talk about is, for instance, if we are in our organization and people in our organization, our line supervisors, our managers do not get to know what exactly we are doing, it will be like, what does this guy really do? What does he really do? Does he know what he's doing, or stuffs like that? So it's really important that when we are in our organization, our corporate spaces, it's important for us to be able to want to not show ourselves, not being egoistic, not being proud, but let people know how you are contributing to a particular team or a particular project or whatever you are doing in such an organization. I would say that many of us, or let me say a larger percentage of us in Nigeria, probably because of our upbringing, because of the spaces some of us come out from, we're always very shy. Some of us, we have very poor communication skills. We're not able to throw ourselves out there to be able to gain and explore more opportunities. So it's actually important that when we are in our organization, our corporate spaces, we are able to, for instance, if you are in an organization whereby you have to have check-in meetings in the morning, or maybe you have to have quarterly meetings or monthly meetings, it's important that you're able to speak out. I understand that we might be shy. I understand that we might feel, people might be saying, what is she saying? What is she talking about? Or what is he saying? Does he know what he's saying? Stuff like that. If we continue to allow those negative thoughts to pull us down, it will be very difficult for us to be able to showcase ourselves, showcase our talent, showcase what we have, because we are keeping all of those stuffs to ourselves. So being visible requires that we are able to speak out. And not only speak out, we're able to say the right thing at the right time. Not only being able to say the right thing at the right time, we're able to communicate effectively and efficiently with our audience. Now, we know that communication is majorly for two people, the speaker and the receiver, and then there is a middle factor in between the speaker and the receiver, which is the language being communicated. One, we want to look at when we are communicating as a speaker to a receiver, are we communicating in an understandable language? Are we speaking the language of the meetings when you are in meetings in your organization? Are you speaking to the particular topic of discourse in your various meetings at your corporate spaces? And for people that are very shy and don't want to speak out, or always want to, probably introvert and don't want to talk out, what can help in such cases is that probably before your meetings, you're able to read your meeting agendas, you're able to plan ahead, and by all means, be confident. If you continue to pull yourself down saying, what would they say about me? What would they say about me? What would they say about me? You will not be able to move on, as fast as you feel you might want to move on in your career space. Number two is for us to build quality relationship with our bosses. I'm not talking about being, what's the English now? Trying to make them see that you can do it a lot of. I'm talking about having quality relationship. Now let's look at, I have two pictures on my screen. Can we see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So if you look at this screen, what type of relationship would you rather develop with your boss? A relationship, the A relationship or the B? Which one would you rather develop with your boss?
The A relationship for me.
All right, thank you so much. So if you look at it, you will see that it's important that when we are in our corporate spaces, we're able to develop relationship with our boss in such a way that your boss understands that you are adding value to the team and to the organization. Then also, it's important that we volunteer to work on high impact projects. For instance, when you see that there are projects in your organization and you see that you have some technical expertise to be able to, help out with those projects, it's important that we are able to also contribute to those projects. That's where we're able to showcase our visibility in our corporate spaces. Also, in our organization, it's important that we're able to form constructive and innovative group. You can try to look at team members that have like minds, team members that also that have a quest for knowledge, team members that have some transferable skills that you need, also the ones that you have that you can transfer to your team. You can form a constructive and innovative group whereby you guys can come together, have discussions, talk about it, form partnerships for your growth in the organization. Invest in your network, even on the social media space. One thing I have learned via trying to put the little that we do in communities on the social media space is investing in my network. For example, I will give an example of this. Most of the voluntary projects that I and my team have been able to do in communities have been funded by people that I met on the social media space. At the start of when we started putting our work on the social media spaces, particularly we utilize mostly LinkedIn because it's like a professional network whereby people get to understand. If you put yourself out in a very strategic manner, people would kind of look out for you themselves. So when we started, we didn't get a lot of support. We didn't get money. It was really hard. It got to a stage we wanted to even, we wasn't even drop the initiative because we were tired. We weren't getting funds to be able to run it. But as time goes on with consistency and persistency, we continue to put our stuffs out there. People started giving us leverages. People started opening up to us, and they started funding some of the projects that we're able to do. So it's really, really important that we invest in ourselves. It's very important that we connect with people, and it's very, very important that we provide some values. When we get to this, to the gaining and maintaining visibility on social media space, I will talk more on this. So now we'll move on to gaining and maintaining visibility on the social media spaces. Number one, like I said, I will use the example of a LinkedIn because that is the social media space I utilize most for all of our visibilities, everything we do for our voluntary initiative, where we've been able to meet a lot of people that have, kind of supported us to be able to, kind of implement some projects that we are implementing. So number one, it's really important that on your profile, how many of us have LinkedIn LinkedIn profiles here? How many of us are on LinkedIn? I'm not able to see your faces. How many of us are on LinkedIn? Hello?
I am.
Okay. Okay. So now, all right. Thank you so much, Petra. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. So where we are using, yes, thank you so much, Helen. Thank you so much, Paul. So why we're using LinkedIn as an example is because LinkedIn kind of have a lot of leverages. LinkedIn kind of have a lot of leverages. LinkedIn kind of have, sorry, are you speaking to me? Okay, sorry. So LinkedIn kind of have a lot of leverages. LinkedIn kind of have opportunities if you are able to explore the platform deeply, effectively, and efficiently. So but there are steps for you to be able to put yourself out there on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional platform whereby you would expect that people that will be there will be professionals in different settings, NGO world, agriculture, there are entrepreneurs there are content writers, there are engineers, there are people from different spaces all over the world, United States, you know, global, it's a global platform for many people. So the very first thing we need to do, if you're going to be leveraging, and number one, another thing I want to say is that whatever platform you want to do to create your visibility, you must understand the platform very well. You must know your target audience. Who are you targeting? What exactly do you need this network for? You must know your why. It is really important to know your why. Another thing is that if you want to gain visibility and maintain it on the social media spaces, let me not lie to you, it's very hard. I know that when I said it's very hard, some people are already shivering. No, don't shiver at all. Hard in the sense that you need a lot of consistency. You need a lot of persistency. All right, sorry. All right, see, is my screen on now?
Yes, it's on.
All right, thank you so much. So when I said hard, people will already be like, oh, hey, Jesus, no, it's not that hard. I mean that you would need you will need to be consistent. There are times like we write on social media spaces and we don't get feedback. There are times that we put some of our work on social media spaces and it will be like months later before we see somebody that will be like, yes, I read a post of yours last 2 weeks and I'm really interested. Tell me more about it. What can we do? I'm going to give us an example of a project that we did for some children in a particular village. That village is called Oriakide Village. It's in Ogun State, Ado-Odota, Ogun State. For instance, we wrote the story of those children who walk about 6 hours daily from their village to the only school in town. On social media, we went to the village, we interviewed the parents, even the children themselves. And when we put this story on LinkedIn, it didn't get as much traction as we thought it would. And 3 weeks, or was it 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, I just got a message from somebody from the United States, from Canada, actually. And then she told me she read my post on these challenges facing some children in a particular village, and she would love to know more. And that was what solved that problem, that challenge for those children, whereby we're able to get all the children in that village bicycles to take to school every day. So it requires that you don't give up. It requires that, one, you optimize, you make sure that your profile on LinkedIn or any social media space that you realize you have a lot of preference, a lot of presence. You make sure that your profile is eye-catching and you make sure that your name is searchable. For instance, if we put your name on Google, will your name pop up? If we put some of the projects you're doing on Google, would they pop up? Can you tell somebody to say, okay, can you tell somebody that, please just type this on Google, it will pop up. does that also happen to you? Number two, it's very, very important that you optimize your LinkedIn introduction point. It's very important. Whatever you put on your LinkedIn introduction point, or whatever social media space where you have a lot of presence, a lot of hold, a lot of graphs, it's very, very important that your introduction will be your very first point of contact for people that may want to reach out to you to say they want to support whatever thing that you are doing. Number three, it's very, very important that your headline is attractive. Now, you don't want to write something on your headline, I'm a sexy baby, you know, something like that. You want to write something that is related to what you are doing. You want to write something that is related to what will pull people to you and be curious about what you are doing. Number three, you also want to have a very beautiful profile image. I am using LinkedIn because that is where I have a lot of presence. That is where we've been able to get a lot of support, a lot of people to ask us what we are doing and how they can support us and help us out in what on all of the voluntary initiatives we are implementing. Number three, you will also want to invest.
Why you don't put on food now?
You would also want to invest in your cover image on whatever social media platform you are using. For instance, on LinkedIn, we have a profile image where you need to make sure that it's headshot, it's your image stands straight. Everybody can recognize your face. Your cover image, you might put one or two things of what you've been doing on your cover image. Number five, it will also be very important for you to be able to engage with your network.
So, please, Yetunde, can you help me mute the mic of any other person? Just mute our mic, please. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so number five, it is important to ensure that you are sharing updates. It is important to ensure that you are sharing updates of whatever project that you are doing, because if people do not know what you are doing, if they don't have a grasp of what you have done, if they don't understand how you want to leverage on your network, it will be really, really difficult for people to support. So therefore, for example, I'm going to be using more of examples because it's what we are doing. For example, whenever we get sponsors on LinkedIn to implement a particular project, after we have done that project, we go back to LinkedIn and then we provide detailed information on how, when, how did we do it? How did we spend the money? We provide every of these tiny details for the people that supported us, and even those that have been looking at, can we support these people? Can we help them out? This humanitarian work they are doing, can we give them some little funds? Let us see how do we utilize it. So after implementation of any project we do, we go back to that same platform to give updates. We give feedback in quantifiable terms, how we did it. And that, let me tell you, the greatest audience, it has really, really helped us a lot to be able to get more support on the little stuff that we are doing in the community. And what we also do is that we try to also target those sponsors that have been helping us, that have been supporting us in their own little ways. Number 6, it is important that on a platform like, I'm using LinkedIn, I'll continue to use LinkedIn. On a platform like LinkedIn, it is important that whatever content you are dropping adds value. You don't want to drop a content that would push your network away. You want to drop content that will make your network continue to visit your page, visit your profile over and over. You want to drop content that will make your audience want to repost and reshare your content. If you do not drop those kinds of content, you continue to lose network. And when you lose network, you lose support. Number 7, it would be very good to mention that when you post your content and they are content of value, people tend to want to check out your profile. I think there's a link between your content and your profile. Once you drop a content that adds value to your network, they tend to want to go to your profile to check you out. And once they check you out, make sure you note those people that are checking your profile. Make sure you kind of reach out to them, thank them for checking out your profile, ask them what you can do better and how you both can collaborate and partner together. Am I making any sense at all? Am I speaking to myself? Hi, everyone.
We are
Yes, you
following.
are.
Please,
Oh,
can you
okay.
share your screen?
Can I do what?
Share your screen is off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Because I'm like, am I speaking to myself or?
Not at all. We are listening. Very
Oh,
interesting.
all right.
Educative.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right. So number 7 is that you also want to look at quality over quantity. On a platform like LinkedIn, you don't want to jeopardize your chances of dropping quantity over quality. You want to ensure that whatever content you are dropping, like I mentioned the other time, is adding value to you, to your network, and to everybody they will repost your content to. Because if it doesn't add value, it kind of jeopardizes chances to kind of see people that want to support you in whatever adventure that you are in or that you may want to go into. Number 8, it's also important that you may want to choose a particular day and time that you post. Sometimes when we need donations or when we need support for a particular project that we want to do, most times we post in the mornings. I think people on LinkedIn try to check LinkedIn content in the mornings. Most of them don't check in the evenings, and then they also try to check during the weekend days. So we have noticed that pattern, and then we are leveraging on those timings to be able to drop our content. Number 8, it's also important that you also interact with your network. 1, I'm going to say that if you drop a content on any social media space and then people make comments, you're doing well, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you do not find at least some time to respond to them, it might kind of like drop some water in their minds. Sorry. So it's important that you respond to them. Number 8, you also want to collaborate with similar accounts. Collaboration with similar accounts. And also on LinkedIn, we also use hashtags. You might also want to use hashtags related to whatever you're doing. I will stop here now for comments and questions. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Yetunde, this is really, 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 really loaded. Thank you so much for sharing. At least I've learned something today. You said if somebody view my profile, I should still go back and thank them and also find a way to engage them. I'm very guilty. I don't. At least I've learned. Thank you so much for sharing. That was really, really insightful. So over to Ross. If you have questions for Yetunde, please, I will encourage you. You can drop it on the comment section, or you can just use the just signify with an emoji. Then we give you the go ahead to unmute. Then you can speak. So Yetunde, let me ask this one before the questions from our other participants start rolling in. When you're talking about the bio, so you said the bio is very, very important. The bio must connect to what we are posting. Can you be more specific? So what should make up the content of our bio? Is our bio the same thing as our profile? No, sometimes it's very, very long. Our individual profile can be very, very long. So what should be the content of the bio on the LinkedIn? On LinkedIn.
All right, thank you so much, Dorcas. So for instance, on LinkedIn, your bio would be the exact precise. I was so precise in the sense that you want to make sure that whosoever comes to read your profile understands explicitly what you are doing. Somebody that comes to your profile understands that this is your niche. This is where you are making your impact. This is what you do. This is what you can be referred to. For instance, if you get to some people's profile, you will see them, they are doing this, they are doing that, they are doing this, they are doing that. You don't really understand, even if you are doing a lot of things, is there a way that you can bring them all together to really define who you really are and what you really do? So it must really be concise and precise to the exact thing that you do. That if somebody says, I need somebody that can consult for me in the agricultural space, they would automatically remember you. For instance, Dorcas, she's in education. I can remember that because I know she does a lot of education. So if I need somebody, I'm saying, okay, somebody else, okay, we need a consultant that can help us do some monitoring and evaluation of a particular project that we did in a particular city, in 2-3 primary schools. I would remember her because I know that is one core specific niche to her. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. It does. Wow. Thank you very, very much. So it must be concise. It must be precise. It must describe your niche. Thank you. That is duly noted. So I will encourage you, please, if you have questions, let's take it. I love the way she summarized this. So we have like 25 minutes for questions. So this is a practical section. So please, let's take advantage of this opportunity. So Yetunde, I'm still going to stay on LinkedIn. So I noticed, okay, now this is a direct question to you. I noticed there was this period of your life that you were just posting every day. And I know I mentioned it when I saw you in Lagos. You were posting like back to back. So I'm just curious, how were you able to manage that drive? Like, how did you build it, that consistency? So what's the secret to your consistent posting? So how did you do it? No, it is because we need to learn, because some of us, when we start posting, today we post, tomorrow we won't forget that we're supposed to post. So how did you manage it? And what is the secret? Just share with us.
Thank you, Dorcas. So let me start by one. There is a drive. I have a drive. When my team and I started, what we do, because we work in rural communities, we see what, at that point in time, we always kind of go for field visits, rural communities to implement projects, and then we see the challenges that people in rural settings face. So every single day that we get to these communities and we see what these people face, what people in these communities face, it triggers our passion, triggers my mind to say, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? So there are factors driving every post. So when I kind of write my posts, when I kind of put them out there, you would want to ask yourself that, how do I write this post? But let me tell you something, there is a force behind it, because we have day-to-day interactions with people in rural communities. So whatever we see on field are already points for me to be able to pen down something to put in the public space, to gather support, to just look for help for these people, for people that we work with in different communities. So, and also what I also do sometimes is that I kind of sometimes if I want to post, I kind of want to have 2-3 posts on ground, because there will be times that I might not be able to sit down to post, that I might not be able to sit down to put my words together. So whenever I have an opportunity to be able to write posts based on scenarios that we've seen on field, I may write like 2-3 posts at once, and then I post on different days on the social media spaces. So, but number one, there is a drive. which is a day-to-day experience that we see every single day when we go out to communities to provide support, to help out people in different communities. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, yes. At least I love the fact that you said you made mention of the fact that you create multiple posts, like you keep them, and then the day the spirit of writing does not rest upon you, you leverage on those ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, so these tips that Yetine is actually sharing with us, it is not just something that works for social impact space alone. Even with your business, with your career, you could actually practice some of these tips and it works like magic. If you don't know Yetine on LinkedIn, just go and check her out on LinkedIn. Then you know why she's here, like why we need to bring her here, because she's not just telling you to do it, she's practicing what she's actually asking you to do, and it is yielding tangible result for her. Yetine, thank you so much. So let's go back to the office, to the corporate space. So you said we should try to build relationship with our bosses. But sometimes, sometimes our boss seems to be far-fetched. They are very, very far. They cannot be reached. So how do you that you are trying to see how you could develop a relationship with such a person? So where do you start from?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dorcas. You know that in corporate spaces, you're going to have like a kind of supervisor, immediate supervisor. You have, everybody would, in most organizations that I know, we have immediate supervisors, followed by probably your line manager, and then, as the cascade, as the what's it called, as the hierarchy goes. So the person you would automatically first want to form a relationship with would be your immediate supervisor, who would be the one that would always put words out for you to the other supervisors or to those ahead of him or her. So because if you're not able to reach your other supervisors or your managers at the top hierarchy, you have the opportunity to leverage on the relationship with your immediate supervisor, somebody you are immediately reporting to, who will then be at the point to, put those words out for you. Oh, Yeseni can do this. Oh, Dorcas, she's this. Oh, Paul can do this. Oh, I understand. No, I know his efficiency in this. I know he has expertise in this. They will be the ones to put in those words. I know it can be very hard. I understand. But if we continue to say this is hard, that is hard, we can't do this, we can't do that, we'll continue to miss out on a lot of things. Thank you so much. Over.
Over.
Oh, sorry, yeah, over.
Thank you. So I got okay, Yol has a question. So before, Yol, you can go ahead. So there's a question for you Yetunde. Someone sent me a question, so I'm going to. Okay, Elikana also has a question. Okay, please, Yol, please unmute your mic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Actually, this is actually the platform that I was really yearning for. And first of all, I would like to thank Dorcas for inviting me to this one. I have a question actually. I'm a kind of a person who loves social media so much because I know as an activist, I know the power of social media now. I'm using a little bit because I'm more on Twitter, LinkedIn a little bit, and also Facebook. I'm more there, but it's kind of confusing. On Facebook, I'm using my nickname, my real name, but on LinkedIn, I'm using my real name, but in the bracket, you see my nickname there. So can that on Twitter, I'm using my real name, but the bracket, you can see my real name. My question is this: you talk of content writing. and also, you know, uh, the, especially on LinkedIn. I sometimes, you know, got a lot of people who search for our organization, especially on LinkedIn, but we are not really active there. We don't post. We take, you know, long time even not post content and everything. But my question is, how can I? Is it possible, you know, maintain my nickname on social media or keep my or change it to my real name? Because no, there's many people who are really been searching for me, like they are searching for my real name on social media and everything. Sometimes they confuse, you know, they get it on social media is different, especially on Facebook is different, but in the others media and the other platform is similar a little bit. Right? So I just want
Okay.
to know how important it is if someone uses, for example, smoking or scaling, how different is it? So I just want to know because I'm trying to figure out if I want to change. I'm thinking like why not want to change
Okay, you're not very clear, but if I hear you correctly, you want to know if you should continue using your nickname or you should change to your real name. But you also have concern because you're an activist and because of the kind of job you do. That was why you're using your nickname. But now people actually search for you. So they type your real name and you're not appearing. So
Yes.
you're asking, what can you do? Thank you so much for that question. And so
Thank
over
you
to
for
you,
making
Yetunde.
Hi, y'all. So just to quickly answer your question, what exactly do you do, please, so that it would inform how to give a constructive answer to your question?
Okay, so let me answer that question for y'all. Y'all is an activist, is a peace advocate. He's from South Sudan, so he's one of those people that speak truth to power.
Oh,
So does
okay.
it give you an idea of the kind of work it does?
Yeah, so it needs to be kind of like not too explicit in his doings because of the kind of work they do, right?
Yes. So
Oh.
instead of using his real name on social media, he uses his nickname because he does a lot of advocacy, and sometimes he speaks a lot about some of the ongoing or some of the human rights related violation that is going on in South Sudan. So because of the peculiarity of the kind of work he does, so he uses his nickname, not his real name. So now people like he's an MWF fellow, and he has a lot of, right now he's having a lot of international exposure, and people tend to like, they'll go on social media, they want to search your name and they are typing your real name, but you are not coming up because yes, because you're hiding on the disguise of your nickname. So he's saying, what will you advise him to do? Should he just change it to his real name, or he should just continue working with the nickname?
Okay, I understand now. Thank you for providing more insight into that. So what I would advise you all, and I would also throw it open to the audience to also kind of give their own perception about this also, is because of the peculiarity of what he currently do, I think he should still stay with, I think from my own perception, for him to stay with his nickname. So that means that when he wants to talk to people, when he wants to speak to people who wants to check him out on social media spaces, he would then need to provide them with his nickname as against his real name. So, but then I'm going to open it to the audience to also provide their own perception about this. Thank you, Hova.
Hova, thank you so much. I think I also shared the same opinion with you. Like, he can still run with his nickname, and then if people ask, he could always share his social media handle, or maybe he could just he could signify the social media handle even on his business card. I don't know if that works. Thank you so much, Yetunde. And I'm open to also I'm open to reading various perspectives from our participants. So you could just go to the comment section and what do you think yours should do? What is the way forward? So Ellen, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doka. And thank you, Yetunde. Okay, so Yetunde, my question goes like this. So I would like to ask, I think for my own case, I don't know whether I'll say I'm not serious or how I'll classify it. But in my own case, my own question is this. I have written down different posts at different occasions that I intend to post. But till now, I have not posted any. But I used to write when the inspiration comes, I just take my pen and I write it down, oh, I'll post this. But I'm yet to post any. So I don't know. How can you advise?
So what are those things giving you the cold shoulders? What are those things making your legs to be shivering and watery? So there might be factors, that might cause you to, kind of have the enthusiasm to be able to sit down and pen something down and then not being able to throw it out in the public space. So can you just share some of those anxiety or maybe fear or something? That way we'll be able to know.
A fear, but I really don't like to be out there.
Yes, I understand. Yes, like when we started this conversation, I had said that I am also an introvert. I don't like to be out there. But when we started the voluntary initiative, I don't have the funds to run it. And you know that the what's it called? The food for running humanitarian work in Nigeria is what? Dorcas?
Money.
Is money. I don't have it. How do I get it? And as a voluntary initiative, you will not be supported by big funders, big donors. Nobody will support you because you don't have a traction yet. Am I right? You don't have a traction yet. And so if you still want to do something, how do you get money to do it? And that was how I started developing those. There were times that I want to post that I'll be like, don't want to post. No, don't want to, I'm tired. I'm this. There are times like that. I'm also an introvert myself, but it got to a stage whereby there's no fun to do this thing, and you are passionate about it, and you want to do it, but there's no money, there's no funds. Then how do you get money? That was when we started leveraging on the social media space. So basically, I think it will depend on your passion. What is pushing you? What is kind of pushing you to be able to say, oh, let me do this? That will be what will push you to say, okay, let me start doing this. Let me start pushing myself out there. And then, in our space in the country, you don't want to push yourself. I understand all of those things. But then if you really want to make an impact, basically based on whatever you believe in, you want to go the extra mile for it. I hope that answers your question, Ellen.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. And I have one more.
So are you going to post? Are you going to start posting today? Because I'm going to be following up with you.
I'll try.
All right.
Okay. And I have one more question. So there was a slide where you had the A and the B, where you have like the boss you relate well with, and there's another boss at the other side. So in a situation whereby you're trying to develop like a friendly relationship with your boss, like just working relationship, but it's not really working out. So it's more of like the B. How can you, maybe let's just say the boss is not just friendly. So how can we go about it?
Okay. So I would say that you would need a lot of patience. I would say that you will need to kind of look at the kind of personality of your boss. You would try to study that boss and see what that boss is doing. How you can kind of, how do I put it now? How you can kind of have robust and beautiful working relationship with our boss. So first, study your boss. Study what he or she likes. study how he or she react to circumstances and situations, study when to communicate with our boss. Then number 5, be patient. I think if you kind of use all of these little tips that I said, I believe it should be able to help you one way or the other. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can you please answer to my question?
Okay, yesterday you have a question on the comment section. So let me read it out for you. This is from Elikana Kipro from Kenya. Thank you, Yetunde, for sharing. I have Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Sometimes I can choose to post in one account only, and it is once in a while. I don't like posting. What do I do? I also forget to take pictures of what I do, pictures of what I'm doing. And when I remember I didn't take a picture, I just have to leave the posting aside. So this is any category, there are plenty. This is another category, but this one is of another greater dimension because you used to forget to take pictures of the work he's doing. So what do you have to say to Elikana? Over to you, Yetunde.
Thank you so much, Dorcas. Thank you, Elkanah, for this question. But before I answer this question, would you kind of like just put me through to what you do? What do you do? And how do you do what you do? Elkanah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. I just want to have an insight into what you do and how do you do what you do?
Okay, I'm a teacher, an educator in Kenya, and I mostly work in the rural areas. And basically, I'm locating learners who are dropping out of school and relocating back to school. And yeah, that's how I do my work. I normally work with some colleagues, and I don't post.
Okay.
Let me help Elikana a little. So Elikana actually, so there's I think in Africa we also have the challenge of school dropouts. So in rural community, the community where it works, there's actually high rate of school dropouts due to various factors. So what Elikana does is he goes house by, like he does like home visits with his team. They identify those students that have actually dropped out. They work with the parents to integrate the student back into school. And they also build a structure where they do like constant visit to ensure that the child is in school, the child remains in school, and they also work together. But I think on that part is the funding, they tax themselves, like they do in-house funding, where they just look around and get funds to actually support the student through school. So, and he's really doing an amazing work in Kenya. And he has another question for you. You said you talked about morning and weekend as a good time to post. Maybe I may ask, how much is too much in posting? So that's the second question. So Elikana is working with out of school children or school dropout in Kenya, rural Kenya, integrating them back into school. And he has an amazing team that is working together with, where they do a lot of house visits, follow-up visits, and check in on the student to ensure that the students remain in school till the end of their learning period. Thank you. Over to you, Yetunde.
All right, thank you so much, Dorcas, for providing that robust insight into what Elkanah is doing. So that brings me to another question. If you're going to look at the stats of people that Elkanah had reached, what would be the stats? Because I would assume that based on the fact that probably you have donors that kind of like support you and you do not need the support of the public space, that would, that would let us say that we might then say that you do not need to post because you have, a framework whereby you get your support from. And then I would also assume that you would also want to, even if you're reaching out to, probably you are getting probably 500 children to school within a term. I'm sure that there will be more children that you want to get to school, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 within that same term, to increase the number of children that you are helping to get back to school. So I would assume that probably because you have donors, you have sponsors that are already sponsoring you, you might not want to put your stuffs out there. But I would also say that if you're doing that much and you are keeping it to yourself, how do you want people who may want to do, what sometimes when you post, it's not just because you want to get sponsors alone, but you want to encourage others to look at a particular challenge in their own community and also do something to help out. In Africa, we have diverse challenges, a myriad of challenges that needs to be sorted. I will give us one example. When I started the Sustainable Menstrual Hygiene Project, this year we had the Menstrual Hygiene Day, and I launched a particular project which was to provide washable, usable sanitary pads to 52,000 girls. And I said, I want it to be done in every state in Nigeria. Of course, I do not know how I will do that because I'm not in every state in Nigeria. But let me give you a shocker. Somebody in Kwara State, at the time when I did this project, I was in Oyo State in Ibadan. Somebody in Kwara State took it upon herself, went to a school, took up the challenge, and provided sanitary towels with education to girls in a particular school in a rural community. I got somebody from Scotland who got in touch with me and said she read my post and participated in that project, sending us the fund that we used to provide sanitary pad for more than 200 girls in a particular village in Ibadan, Oyo State. Imagine if I did not write that. I don't have the funds to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Elkanah? I don't have that funds, but I believe probably you have sponsors and you are able to get funds to be able to, do the great works that you are doing. But all the same, you want to also kind of put some of these things out there to encourage others who might want to follow suit what you are doing. Who might have also been looking at how can I also help within my own community. Probably in their own community, there is high rate of teenage pregnancy, there is high rate of school dropouts, there is high rate of food insecurity, and then they see what you're doing, and then they're inspired to go out and do same. But if you don't put it out, nobody will know. They will not know. I hope that answers your question, Elkanah. And then for the posting on mornings and weekends, I had said that we just kind of look at the metrics. And then we realize that some people kind of come to this social media space in the mornings. We see, probably when we post in the morning, we see a large views, large comments, large reposts. And then, okay, I think people would come online more in the mornings and then on weekends. And then we start to leverage those kind of time frames. I hope that answers your questions, Elkanah. Over.
Thank you very much, Yetunde.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yetunde. Thank you. Elkanah, thank you too for asking the question. Thank you for putting yourself out. Because for me, I think this is just a step one towards progress. So for you talking about it is also it
means he has it in mind. It means he has it in mind that he wants to do it, but he doesn't know how to. So yes. I hope we'll follow up with Elkanah to see how he's faring, in trying to, put a little bit of those out there to inspire others.
Yes.
So the most important thing is for you to inspire others, not to impress people. Inspire, not to impress. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I think that is one major banger you just dropped. So the reason why we put it out there, it is not just not to impress people, but to inspire others. So let me add this one: inspire them onto action. Yes, let me be following my madam. Thank you so much, Yetunde. It has really been an insightful section with you, and it is of great value for our time. Thank you and thank you. So Yetunde is very active on LinkedIn. she's also she's active. She's also active on Facebook. So please, you could reach
I'm
out to her.
I'm not really active on Facebook. Probably LinkedIn.
Okay.
I think Margaret is raising her hand. I think I see Margaret's hand raised.
Margaret, please, over to you. Unmute and ask your question, please. Sorry for the oversight.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we
please,
can.
go ahead.
Okay. I am a teacher. I am also an assistant club coordinator in my school. The club is Homemakers Club. And in the club, we teach children how to enter entrepreneurial skills. We also educate them on, we also educate them about some attitude. Like last week, we talked to them about boy-girl relationship. And we've been talking about a lot of things, diligence in the home and all of that. But I have this issue. You said something. And in my establishment, teamwork is something that is very important. You have to work with people to achieve something. But the people I find around me as my colleague are not willing to do the thing wholeheartedly. They are only doing it because they are forced to. But I've always had this passion for children. In fact, I wasn't appointed as an assistant coordinator. We had a coordinator, but I noticed she's not really into the thing. So I'm always the one going to the club, doing those things. And she saw me like someone that is interested and on her own said I should assist her. But I have other colleagues. She's actually my HOD. I have other colleagues that are not really into the thing. And at the time, I think I was doing most of the thing. I was like, am I sure I am doing it the way I should? Or are they feeling that I am trying to do something? Me, I was actually doing that because of the passion I have. So now my question is, how do you do some of these things if you have to work with people so that they don't feel left out or they don't feel you are overdoing or something? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margaret, for this very, very critical question. I can understand what you're saying. Working in a corporate space, for people that work in corporate spaces, you would understand what Margaret is trying to point out from this question. And I understand that working in a corporate space, you would work with different kinds of people from different kinds of environment, from different kinds of workspaces where they are coming from. And therefore, I would advise that if working with people would, like I mentioned to Ellen the other time, would require that you exercise a lot of patience. When you are doing whatever you are doing, you try to bring them into it. For those that are interested, they would open up and they will also, form a kind of team with you. Working with people is actually a little bit dicey because we have different perception, we have different ways of getting things done. And because that is the case with us as humans, it's important that we are patient with each other. It's important that we try to bring them into what we are doing, show them what we are doing, and also kind of highlight their achievements. Yes, I will mention that. It's very, very important. When you're working with a team and one of your team members or varying people in your team are kind of doing stuff that are unique, please encourage them. Please highlight their achievements. When you do all of these things, it's going to help them to be able to come out, talk to you more, want to work with you more, want to collaborate more, and want to partner with you more. I hope this answers your questions, Margaret, even if it's not much, but in a little way.
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. But I think for me, that you are overdoing. I think it is always going to be there. But the question is, it is how you respond to it. Will you keep doing it? Your passion is the reason why your passion for children is your driver. So just focus on that. And over time, people will just come and say, this is who Margaret is. She's not doing it to impress. She's actually doing it to inspire. That just as Yetunde mentioned earlier. So it is over time. Over time, that will become the new normal. That will become the reality, and that will become the talk of the day. But at the initial state, what people cannot understand or what people are not used to, they are not familiar with, they tend to judge it based on their own experiences. So just give it time. Everything will fall in place. Thank you so much, Yetunde, once again. It has really been super, super amazing. So I dropped our LinkedIn name on the comment section. If you would like to connect with her on LinkedIn, just check out that name. That is our on LinkedIn. So this is me. I will do over to my co-founder. So this think tank is co-founded by my humble self, Dorcas, and Temitope Falade. So over to my co-founder, Tope. Tope. Okay, so before Tope come up, let me just say this. So we started youth series, I think we started youth series in January. So this is going to be the last youth series for the year 2022. So the Visible You, and you could actually check out our previous youth series webinars on our YouTube channel, Additic Think Tank. So there are a lot of resources there for you to consume, and I promise it is going to be of great value for your time. And also, Tope is going to be coming up to tell us what is the next plan. We've been doing a lot of youth series, so how are we going to crown youth series up? Tope, are you there? Tope? I apologize. So as I wait for Tope to come up, I just want us to just go to the comment section. Just drop on the comment section, what are your major take home? You know, from at the very start of this meeting, I asked us, at the end of this meeting, what will you like to go home with? What will be your lesson? I think it was just Joseph that shared with us. So now, the session has ended. So what are those major take homes? So what are you going to run with? What will you start practicing? And I just want you to go to the comment section and also help me celebrate our amazing speaker. She did a fantastic job. So Yetunde, this is me saying thank you to you. Thank you for pouring out yourself to us. You really did great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dorcas.
Yeah.
So before we get the insights from members of the audience, I would just want to drop this last point that whenever we want to drop our post online, let me give an example. I like to use the example more because that is what I'm very used to. When I want to drop post online, I draw post in such a way that I kind of like link it to the project that we need support from. So when you read the post, you will not see the post as a post to impress. You will see it as a post to a call for action. I'm not sure. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Dorcas? You will not read the post as a post to impress. You will see it as a call to action to be able to support us in whatever project that we are doing. So if you also kind of look at those ways, look at those when you are writing your post, try to look at the quality of the posts as against the quantity of the post. And also the last thing I did mention is that people are much more interested. People get more drawn to posts that have visuals. For example, for Health Canada said it doesn't get pictures, it doesn't know how to have pictures. People kind of like understand more of what you're writing when they see visuals, when they have infographics, when they have some kind of lovely pictures to go with whatever you are writing. That's just a last point for me. Thank you so much, guys. Over.
Thank you. I love that part. You just this your last point. Call to action. Wow. So call to action. I love that part. Thank you so much. I'll try to encourage us in case you missed it or you joined in midway. Don't worry. The video is going. We are going to post the recording on our YouTube channel, so you can always go and watch the replay. This is something you need to listen all over. And I just also want to clarify this. This webinar is not strictly for social impact implementers alone. These tips, these practical tips Yetunde is sharing with us is applicable everywhere, in every space, be it in your business if you're an entrepreneur, be it in your career as an office person. I don't know how to put this. God, Yetunde, there was something DDK mentioned when during our get together in Lagos when she was talking about posting on LinkedIn. So if I can't remember the word she used to describe it. I don't know if you can remember, so that you borrow me the word. So even you in your office space, in that your corporate space, that your career line. So what is that thing that you're doing? What problem? Every business, every office, there's a problem people are trying to solve. There is a service you're delivering. There is something you're working on. So can you just become an authority? Can you share your onions online? What are you doing? How are you doing it? And what are the impacts you're making? You can share that. So it is not necessarily the social impacts, the rural people. No. Even if you're working with HIV and AIDS patients, what is the story? How is their experience like? Getting data? Just come and share. Like when they say, oh, who is this person within this space? Everybody know that this is your niche. So I think that is one major thing I took from Yetunde. So this is me telling Yetunde once again, thank you very, very much. And Tope, I don't know if you're back. Okay, Elikana. So let me just read take home. So Yetunde, Ellen said, thank you so much, Yetunde. I have really enjoyed this. I hope to start posting hopefully this weekend. So we are watching out Ellen's space. So Ellen, we are going to be watching your space. We look forward to reading some of your posts. Thank you. My takeaway is the 3 ways to build my network: invest in myself, connecting with people, and providing value. That is building reputation. This is from Elikana. Thank you so much, Elikana, for sharing your takeaway with us. So if you have takeaway, please just drop your takeaway on the comment section. And this is us telling our guests this evening. Thank you, thank you. Isn't I don't know, will your slide be available for us? Are you going to give us your slide?
Yes. Dorcas, I will send it to you.
Okay, no. So if you're interested, if you would like to get here to this slide, please, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Tope or wherever you got the link from. So who shared the link? Like Paul said, his friend shared the link with him. So just reach out to your friend. I'm very sure your friend knows where he or she got the link from. So we send you the slide. Thank you, everyone, once again. Thank you so much for joining. This is where we draw our curtain. I don't know, Tope, are you there? Please, let me just confirm if Tope is back. I don't know if she's back. Tope. Okay, thank you. Yetunde, please, can you stop recording? You are the host.